80 continues with how the king left a legacy of music and heart. From the gold-plated piano he gave his then-new bride Priscilla to the equally lavish limousine that Elvis used driving around here in Nashville, the Country Music Hall of Fame well remembers its first biggest crossover star, the man who paved the way for everyone from Johnny Cash to Taylor Swift. There he is, the king of rock and roll, also the king of country music.
One crazy kiss, and bam, I head for the skies.
Every song he sang, he put his heart and soul into it. And it's hard to have a favorite song, because just when you say, oh, this is my favorite, then you hear another song and you go, oh, God, this is my favorite. It's really a special meaning to all of them.
But as the 60s turned to protest singers like Bob Dylan, and the British invasion takes the reins of rock and roll, Elvis surrenders to Hollywood's embrace.
Hollywood came calling, and he got sort of bit by the film bug, which distracted him away from making great music. And, you know, he almost became a joke in the 60s because people just weren't really catching on to the films that he was doing.
Vance! Oh, no.
Legendary filmmaker Hal Wallace produces 9 Elvis films, describing the king as the only sure thing in Hollywood.
Please take another chance and let me.
Elvis stars in a series of so-so films alongside some established actors like Walter Matthau, Angela Lansbury, Mary Tyler Moore, and Barbara Eden.
We got here just a little bit sooner. She may be alive now.
Though engaged to Priscilla, Elvis is linked to some of Tinseltown's most desirable leading ladies, Nancy Sinatra, Sybil Shepherd, and he showers special attention on the female Elvis, actress Anne Morgan.
Oh man, Anne Morgan. She was the hottest thing in Hollywood, Elvis.
George Klein recalls spying on the hottest couple in Hollywood.
He was slow dancing her, kissing her on the neck. We weren't looking at him too much. We were looking at her. So then he sees us, and he comes around and he starts kicking us and hitting us all. I told you guys to get out of here, get out of here, get out of here.
And I love you so.
Elvis is making $1 million a movie, but the assembly line musicals handpicked by manager Tom Parker do Elvis little good. Biographers later claim the Colonel pushed Elvis into the mediocre movies to cover some of his own gambling debts.
Slipped, I stumbled, I fell.
Elvis pal Jerry Schilling.
Why pay for a good director? Why pay for co-stars? Why have a great Elvis is going to make money, people are going to come? The only person that didn't believe that philosophy was Elvis Presley.
Did he get bad advice? Was he taken for a ride? What happened? Was he was an intelligent person?
Elvis never complained that Colonel Tom Parker got 51% and he got 49%. Did Elvis have individual counsel? Could the contract have been nullified? I would say yes, but he was okay with it. If I was Elvis, I would have been a son of a bitch. I would, you know, if I'm doing all the work and doing all that stuff, manager respectfully would have gotten 10, no more than 20%.
That feeling goes through my toes and all the lights go out.
I saw them tell him, if you don't do these contracts, you won't do anything. So now here's what Elvis has a choice. Is he going to walk around the rest of his life with a chip on his shoulder, or is he just going to go through the motion?
Now married to Priscilla, but with a career in tatters in 1968, Elvis is down but not out. He welcomes the arrival of Lisa Marie, his only child. Then, rejecting the advice of the Colonel, he stages a remarkable comeback with a television concert, his first in 7 years. Clad in black leather, Elvis is back.
He's back, man. He's back. If anybody knew that he was back.
I'll never forget that you introduced me to Elvis Presley.
Yeah.
Super agent Jerry Weintraub.
How in the world did you get past Colonel Tom Parker, the most protective manager in history, to get to Elvis to produce all those concerts for him?
The Colonel said, Mr. Weintraub just gave us $1 million, Elvis, to go on tour. We're going to go on tour. Elvis said, oh, thank you, sir. Thank you very much. I said, is there anything at all I can do for you, Elvis? Only thing you can do for me is promise me 2 things. Number 1, we'll always be sold out. And I want you to promise me that the first 20 rows will go to my fans, not the big shots.
Viva Las Vegas. He also alohaed in Hawaii, and he lived and died, of course, in Graceland in Memphis, Tennessee. But in some ways, this is the city most closely associated with the king of rock and roll. in show business terms. This is where Elvis starred opposite Anne Margaret in the iconic movie Viva Las Vegas, and where he performed more often than anywhere else by far. His home away from home here was the Las Vegas Hilton. Elvis was there so much they called the hotel Graceland West. It's also where Elvis performed almost nightly, selling out a record 837 consecutive concerts. Now called the Westgate Las Vegas, the memory of the king is very much alive.
Elvis was happy because all he did was come down from his suite, get on stage, and there was a party every night after the show.
This was his playground. I mean, he took me here when I was 16 years old. He would always come here for vacation. He'd come here after a movie.
So who did he love, George?
Priscilla Presley. Priscilla was his first and really true love.
Though Elvis's one and only true love is wife Priscilla, neither is faithful. She carries on an affair with karate instructor Mike Stone, as Elvis stays busy with every starlet from Hollywood to Graceland, at one point touching the life of Tori Petty, a 20-year-old co-ed from Old Miss.
He didn't have this rock star mentality. He was like a Southern gentleman who was trying to impress his date.
The Presleys separated in February 1972. Their divorce finalized in 73, a year Elvis nearly overdoses on barbiturates. Once hospitalized in a near coma from Demerol abuse.
He seemed doped up to you?
No, he didn't. He didn't drink alcohol. The only thing he did was pills that his doctor prescribed him.
He never did illicit drugs. He went to Richard Nixon, who was president. He got a badge for the Drug Enforcement Administration. Do you think in his mind he thought he was doing something sinful, or do you think he was just taking medicine?
I'm sorry, he was a drug addict just like me, no better, no worse. If you use them against what the doctor's ordering you to use them and the doctor's giving you me to illegally, can't we make that little jump to that they were illicit?
Well, nowadays, you
know,
totally get
come on.
We told Elvis, look, Elvis, why don't you let us take you down to Duke University? You spend a month at Duke University, they'll get you back in good health, you get off all that crap, and you'll lose your weight, and you'll look fantastic. And he said, well, it'd be too embarrassing.
Approaching 40 overweight and touring frantically in 74 and 75, Elvis still dreams of acting greatness, but misses the chance to save his movie career, if not his life.
When Streisand came to him and wanted to be opposite of A Star Is Born, we all told Elvis, we said, Elvis, this could be your Sinatra's From Here to Eternity. This would be the movie that would bring you back, man.
I believe that's the best of both worlds.
Incredibly, Colonel Parker treats Barbra Streisand's offer of A Star Is Born with contempt.
He said, okay, Barbara. He said, before you say anything, we want $1 million up front, 50% of the picture, top billing, and we get the album for the movie. And Streisand said, hey, Colonel, I'm a pretty big star too. See you later.
You know, we look at Elvis as the boy next door, but in his heart, he was James Dean and Marlon Brando, no doubt about it. And I think I lost my friend because of creative disappointments.
Creative disappointments and enough dope from enough doctors to kill a horse. We get the inside scoop after this.